Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin. Scott Allen and Tam McManus are here with me. If you hit the subscribe button, you'll join the football family and you'll get all our unique video content, including, of course, if you download the app, all the breaking news at your fingertips. Lots to talk about, including, of course, Scotland. It was an impressive performance on Monday. You can give us your view on that as well, the fallout from it, the positives and the negatives. Hearts have signed an exclusive deal with Jamestown Analytics. We will analyse that and get your thoughts, Jambos. Niels Coppin has probably got one of the most difficult jobs in Scottish football at the moment, in the Scottish Premiership anyway. He's got to somehow get some recruits in there for Philippe Clement, the Rangers manager, and hope it's enough to bridge the gap between Aberdeen and Celtic and then possibly win the title. There's a job and a half, eh? So we will have Scott and Tam offer their tuppence worth on that. What did you make of Scotland? Were you positive about it?
Very positive, yeah. I think, obviously, coming off the back of the tournament, discussed it many a time, I think we've definitely seen a different way of playing. I think players have come in and affected the group. Ben Doak, for me, being one of them, having that real pace and threat on the counter-attack, especially against teams who have some top players on their side. I thought John Souttar, for me, was man of the match, obviously with the assist, but the block he made as well during the game. So a lot of good performances and look like we're on the upward trajectory.
Yeah. What was your take?
No, I concur with what Scott's saying there. I think that we performed really well. We took our goals well. John McGinn, I think the big difference for me, Peter, has been 4 at the back. I think we were 3 at the back at the Euros and we were poor. He's went 4 at the back, which is, I think it's more attacking with the full-backs pushing forward. And we look more adventurous. And we look as if we've got more goals in us. We're creating chances. And Ben Doak, definitely for me, has been the difference. Unfortunately, he couldn't go to the Euros, but just giving somebody the ball that can carry up the pitch and get at full-backs and create things. And even if his final ball still has to be worked on, he's a dangerous player. And I think that teams are starting to double up on him now. You can see that, and it leaves space for others. So I think the last 2 games have really shut up a lot of the Steve Clarke detractors. I think that the 2 results have been superb, 2 wins, and we finished the group really, really strongly. But for probably a mad moment for Grant Hanley, we'd probably have finished second.
How have we shut the detractors up? We failed.
We failed when?
We failed in this group.
Do you think we should have finished second?
No, I'm not saying to you that's a second part of the argument.
I don't think
ultimately they failed. There are positives to be taken from it, but he hasn't dealing on what you're saying there. He hasn't shut up any detractors, because at the end of the day, the remit is Nations League group. Let's see where we go here. Can we get into a really good position where we give ourselves another chance to qualify before they eventually draw the World Cup groups? So he didn't achieve what every country set out to achieve there.
I think, well, if that's the way you're looking at it, Peter, yes, he did.
Didn't shut up any detractors.
Well, that's my opinion, Peter. I think he did. I think he has in the last 2 games.
In there, in terms of,
I think 7 points out of the last 3 games. Portugal, Croatia, Poland, 7 points for the last 3 games. I think it's an incredible return.
Yeah. Now, secondary to that, you see on an individual basis progress.
Yeah, I do, Peter. Honestly, I think the games, you look at the Poland game at home, we should never have lost that game. I thought we were excellent. A couple of bad mistakes. Ralston diving in for a penalty. Hanley diving in. Just stupid mistakes that we gave goals away. Croatia away, last minute. We've got a VAR chopped off for a goal. I thought we played well that night as well. Portugal, I thought we deserved a point. Croatia, obviously a bit fortunate with them getting a man sent off. And then the other night, listen, it could have went either way, but to go and beat Poland away is a great result. So I think we can definitely see improvement. We're in a tough group now. We're in the top pool in the Nations League, and I think that we have shown that we can compete with the better nations.
Well, we're in a playoff to stay in that top group.
Yeah, I don't know who we play. I think obviously it will be decided shortly, but it just depends. I mean, Steve Clarke as a manager, he wants to test himself against the best, but in terms of getting results, you're probably better in the lower pot.
Yeah, I'm playing the devil's advocate with you. I can't let you away with a glib statement without us analysing it. And the other point here is Brian has just made it. If Steve Clarke had played with a bit more positivity in previous games, results and performances might have been better.
I think in the Euros, yes.
Yeah, Euros. I was going to say you could definitely see a change of definitely tactics and how the team was trying to function in the the game against Poland at home. I thought we played some great football that night. If we're going back to the Euros and isolating that, absolutely.
Deserved the criticism in the Euros, I think.
We dominated possession the other night against Poland in Poland as well. That tells you that the team is progressing. So as much as Tam's talked about detractors, and listen, I think a lot of us all said maybe the time was right after the Euros, but he definitely has silenced a lot, and you can see that the team is improving.
And one of the other comments coming in, well, we're down to pot 3 in World Cup qualifying, so is that progress?
It was an interesting one seeing some of the teams. Obviously, I think Poland are in pot 2, and we've just beat them, and obviously they beat us at home, and I did think that night we were the better side. I'm more looking in the positive way. I can see a way of playing. I'm seeing young blood obviously coming into the team in affect day games, and that's a positive because the Euros was very, very disappointing.
The other aspect of this, and I think we've got to try and analyse things, I see progress in the way we play. I don't see progress in how we're going to solve the problem that we've had for the last 10 years. Not only striker, but I mean, I suppose in a positive sense, we lost 1 goal against Poland, but I still can't see, I don't see the back line being sorted out. I can't see those two centre halves that we're crying out for. I don't know where they are.
The last 2 games, Peter, we've kept a clean
lessons
sheet and the guy scored a rocket, so I don't think it's been that bad the last 2 games.
But I still think that is our weakness. I still think we are in a situation where we almost have to, in games, score 2 to win it, or even salvage it. But on that basis, we've got no goal scorer. The goal scorers are coming from, you've got a left back,
we've got no
you've
goal
got a midfielder who's scoring.
at that level. And at that
So
level,
how do you solve that problem? It's hard going, isn't it?
Poland without Lewandowski, they've had a guy who's been a focal point for their team for years, who gets them through to big tournaments. We've not had that. We've got guys coming in who maybe haven't been scoring goals domestically. It's not easy to find, Tam will tell you, going about even European football now, to find a top striker.
And the back line?
For a long time. The back line, I think, have done well. I thought Anthony Ralston's done well as well the last 2 games, considering the criticism he came under at the Euros.
You think Suter could solve that problem?
I really like Suter. I think Suter's been one of Rangers' better performers this year. There's obviously that doubt that he does have a mistake in him, but I don't think you can criticise any of his performance over the last 2 games. I think he's been outstanding. And I think as a group, they've definitely learned from playing against this quality of opposition.
Yeah. Mo says, Mo swears and says, to hell, I'll say to hell with, right? Because he's used the F word. He says, F arguing with Peter, he doesn't listen. Mo, I don't know what programmes you watch, but the joy of football is not just accepting when Tam says something, we all think it's the light, the way and the truth. The game, and the name of the game is to dissect what everybody's saying, to analyse the football, and also, ultimately, to look and say, have we achieved our objective? And that is the cold light of day. You've played in many a game where I've said, oh, Scott Allan played brilliantly, but they lost. The ultimate aim here is, and Steve Clark knows it, and by the way, it's not decided, is qualify for the World Cup. The Nations League, what was your objective? Get in the top 2, didn't achieve it.
Should we expect to qualify for the World Cup? Should we, as a nation? Should we expect to qualify for a World Cup?
Expectations, I don't deal in expectation, I deal in reality. Steve Clark, his job is, first of all, get us to major championships. He did it. Brilliant. Second time, did it. Deserves great credit. By the same token, football, as you know, operates on a game-to-game basis. My God, we go to Germany and we get absolutely trounced by Germany and we're thinking, bloody hell, that was poor. And then the second game, his tactics were wrong. That was poor. Third game, we're absolutely depressed because they just blow it against Hungary. But the point here is, by the same token, Steve Clark's gone through a learning curve where, even at his advanced stage, he's looked at it and said, that was poor in Europe. Now I've got a couple of players coming in. I'm going to change and tweak it a wee bit and see if we can be more dynamic, see if we can be more confident on the ball, and he deserves credit for it. But ultimately, Steve Clark knows, as you do, you're judged on tournaments, leagues, league tables. That's it in a nutshell.
I understand that, but I do think there's a process to a Scotland team. They've obviously qualified for European tournaments, a World Cup is it's not an easy gig to just turn up and beat these teams. Obviously, especially when you're adding young players to the squad. But I think since the Euros, the response has been excellent. I think the players came in have made a difference, and that's part of the process which Steve Clarke's trying to make this side better.
Unfortunately, never had Ben Doak in the Euros.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, never had Ben Doak. He could have made a difference for us, Peter. I still think Steve would have went with the system with the three at the back.
Yeah.
I think he's analysed that Euros and went, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
I need to improve. We need to improve, or else I'm not going to be here.
They have.
And I think there's been a massive improvement from the game against Hungary till the other night. You can see it in leaps and bounds. We've come on. Even the last 3 games, keeping a clean sheet against Portugal, clean sheet against Croatia, and then, but for a boy, he scores a screamer for 30 yards in the top corner. So we've defended better as well the last 3 games.
If you think of the games that you watched at Euros, and not going to be, it was boring. Games have been exciting now. That was a great game the other night in terms of, say you went to Scotland or a Poland fan for a neutral. You looked like a constant threat on the counter attack. We did not have that at the Euros, and that's the difference what pace does to the team. We spoke about it months ago. When you have that speed, and we've not had it for a long time, it just gives a release to the team, allows players time to get forward, and that's what it's done. You can travel, you can run 40, 50 yards with the ball. The team gets up, even if it breaks down, the team's around the ball. You then maybe win it back and give you more chances to score.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm listening to so many people who are saying Peter's doom and gloom. I'm not doom and gloom. I think it's right and proper that we analyse the performance and wonder where we are now.
Performance is better, Peter. If it's just performance and we're forgetting league tables, performance.
No, we're not. I'm just saying to you,
performance is better.
You need to look at the performance, and then you need to say to yourself, well, over the course of the campaign, the Nations League campaign, where did we get things wrong? Where did we get things right? How does he rectify that to make sure that now we're in pot 3? Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because as I live and breathe here, as I look at the pots with regards to Scotland, pot 1 is Spain, Portugal, Germany, France, Italy, Netherlands, Denmark, Croatia, England, Belgium, Switzerland and Austria. That's pot 1. Okay, so you know you're going to get a humdinger. Pot 2, Ukraine, Turkey, Sweden, Wales, Hungary, Serbia, Poland, Greece, Romania, Norway, Slovakia and Czech Republic.
There's not a lot of teams there that you would fear.
Well, there's not. But
it depends how it pans out for us. That's the thing, we just don't know.
I mean, I look at, Sweden are flying now. They've obviously got 2 or 3 terrific strikers at the minute. But I look at the other teams in that pot too. Peter, Ukraine have been a bit of a bogey for us. Poland had fancies against them, Greece, Romania, Norway. We've beat them before, Slovakia, Czech Republic. I would fancy us to finish above most of them, but again, it's all in the draw. We could get the absolute death draw, or we could get a plum draw, even Group 1.
Yeah.
Even pot 1 if you get Switzerland or Belgium, who are on the wane. Somebody like that.
That's a good point, that about Belgium.
But it just depends. You might get Spain. Well, they beat Spain, but you might get Spain again.
No thanks.
If you get Spain and Sweden, you're spewing. If you get Germany and Sweden, you're spewing. But you could get 2. And I just don't think there's many teams. There's many of the big teams that you would go with no chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Beat the European Championships.
Joey has got a great